Here we go. Gente 034. Okay, E4. Let's see. I haven't played the Alekhine's defense recently. Let's try that. Knight f6. And see if we get the usual lines here. Okay, he's playing one of the main lines here with just d5. Sometimes you can play c5 and still kick the knight. Oh, but he's going with, I think this is the modern variation. Let's see, what do I play here? I could get this bishop outside the pawn chain because I'm probably going to want to play e6 at some time. And I could put it on f5 or I could put it on g4 there, pinning the knight. Let's try the pin. And if he kicks it, I can stay on this side. Oh, he wants to open things up. This is interesting. I can take with the, well, it's not opening things up so much. And he kicks the, so it's kind of a delayed, normally they play this, kick the knight back and then exchange. So this is a slightly different move order than what I'm used to seeing. So can I do anything? Well, I didn't put the bishop, no, I wish I'd put the bishop on f5 there because then I might think about playing knight to b4 there, threaten to come into that location. Let's go knight b4 anyway. Let's see if the check. No, that doesn't work. Queen check. The knight comes back to block the check, and then the pawn comes forward to win the knight. But I don't necessarily want to go over to that side of the board. So let's go, instead of going to... yeah, that's the difference in exchanging first. Because the exchange has happened, this f6 square is available to me, whereas before, if that c5 push is played earlier in the normal move order, then the knight is forced to the queen side, which it doesn't necessarily want to be on the queen side. So I think I should be okay here. I've got an extra pawn in the center. I've got my bishop outside the pawn chain. White has more space. And maybe the development's about even. Maybe he's one step ahead in development because he gets to castle first and I still have to move a piece before castling. Okay, I do have to be careful. I don't want to fall into that knight c6 d5 trick here. Although, does that work? Knight c6, pawn to d5, pawn takes, knight takes. Wins a pawn. But it looks kind of loose, doesn't it? So maybe I'll just play simple. I will play simple and just play knight to d7 and block the check that way. Maybe we'll check that out in the postmortem, see if that was a playable line. It's just that, you know, if this knight was lured out to d5 there, the knight and the bishop are both undefended, two loose pieces. There might be some kind of skewer. Although the knight can always drop back and defend the bishop, so maybe it was okay. But like I said, this is simpler and it should be okay. I don't see any problem in my position here. I'm just going to play bishop e7 and castle. And white's expanding on the queen side but neglecting development. And I don't see any damage. I mean, I could have paused to think more on that move, but well, he's moving quickly. I don't want to get too far behind. And I don't see any immediate threats on the queen side. You know, he can gather lots of space there. But I can start to counterpunch in the center now. I've got castled, got all my pieces out. Can I play e5? Pawn takes, knight takes, knight takes. Pawn takes, bishop takes. You know, that exposes some pressure on this knight here, but let's think about this. Also, after the knight takes, I could take the bishop here, and so I could destroy his castling privileges, I guess, in exchange for a pawn. So let's think about this. Pawn to e5, pawn takes, knight takes. He could take with the bishop, pawn takes, but if he wants that pawn, he has to take with the knight then. And I take the bishop, he takes, and then do I have anything clever? A way to exploit that exposed king. Let's see, this knight is gone. This knight is still available. This bishop is, let's play it. I just think it seems like it's good to open things up while his king is in the center, even if it costs me a pawn. And it's hard to calculate everything out exactly, so we'll see. Yep, he went for that. So he's going to get the extra pawn, and we're in this position. So what do I have? Okay, that's not loose. That is something I could attack. Say queen to b6 hits the b pawn, because the bishop's already hitting it, and also looks at the f pawn, which might be interesting. And then how does he respond to that? He might just play c6 though. I mean c5. So maybe immediately, the immediate rook here, checking out, taking a look at his king there, and see how he reacts to that. Okay, so that he moves the knight out of the way. So that opens up a square for my knight, and his bishop is pinned. So I can I exploit the pin immediately? Like bishop to d6, he could play rook to d1. I could go queen to c7, unpinning my bishop and hitting his bishop. And now I've got 3 pieces attacking the pinned bishop, and I don't see how he defends it. So anyway, yeah, that shows the well, assuming this works out, that shows the advantage of getting your opponent's king exposed early in the game, even at the cost of a pawn. You know, if you just pull his king out into the open, don't give him a chance to castle. That's worth something. He could have defended better, though. He might have been okay with careful moves. I was really expecting him just to move his king back. If we back up to right here, yeah, it was that was the end of the exchanges. He just took the pawn. Why play here? I was expecting him just to move his king back to f8. That would have been kind of a sensible thing to do. But yeah, I think he's in trouble now. So we'll give him some time and let him see if he can figure this out. Okay, he defends, but I have 3 attackers, so that's not sufficient. And I end up with an extra knight. Let's make sure I don't get mated on the back rank. Let's see, what's a good move here? You know, I was thinking rook to e8. It might backfire if he plays his rook here, but actually I can just take that rook off. So rook to e8 might have been the better choice there. Yeah, it certainly was. So where's the killer blow here? I want to get to a position where I can get on this light square diagonal, and also want to allow my knight to come into e4 here. So he's going after my rook. Let's throw in the check. And now if I play knight here, he could play rook takes knight, queen takes, and then queen takes here, check. That would mate me. That would be very annoying. So let's see. He's got some pressure on my pawns here. What have we got here? Yeah, I'm not playing this so well. Happens to me. Okay, I'm going to start by giving my king a little space here so I don't get mated on the back rank. And then, so check here drives his king to this square. What I should do is get on this diagonal first, though, and then bring my rook over, right? Yeah, I got to remember that. I need to remember his queen is looking at my rook. So we grabbed a pawn here. Let's threaten something. Okay, so now he's given up the back rank. I can get my rook to the back rank. He could have just taken my knight. Yeah, I'm really doing terribly. Doing terribly. Anyway, but my idea is to get the queen on this diagonal. That would force at least a queen trade, and then mop up some pawns right here. Right here with the queen trade. Of course, if I could get on that diagonal without trading queens, that would have been even better because his king would have been in trouble. So I'm hitting that pawn. Okay, he's defending it. Let's bring another piece over to attack the pawn. And let's get my king into the game. There we go. He's advancing the pawns. Okay, so now I can put the rook behind this pawn. And he can't check me. Okay, that's what I wanted. Take. Take. So now he's just one pawn up. And let's round that one up too. And knight here. And knight here. And let's see, if the knight takes, he can pin it, but I can drop the rook back and then unpin. So this should work. So rook a3, I play rook to a7, and then my follow-up is knight to c6 to protect the rook and unpin the knight. So yeah, there was just that one point in the game where I dropped a whole piece there. He could have just taken my knight, and I think that would have been better for white. We'll check that out, but pretty terrible. I can't help it. Sometimes that just happens. Okay, don't want to walk into any more pins here. So he wants to harass my knight a bit, which does not yet have a stable square, so that is something. Okay, but it's defended there. And now we can, maybe I'll cut off his king next. Let's see, does he want to walk the king forward to h4? That would be interesting. So I'm thinking of the check on then the third rank there. Rook to a3, king to h4. And maybe I can push these pawns forward or gang up on that. I'm not sure. Let's start with the pawn push there. Let's think about where the knight should be. Maybe I maneuver the knight to e6. So to achieve that, maybe I should first play rook to a5 so that the pawn push, pawn to f5 is not so attractive. So rook a5, knight f8 to e6. Or if he attacks my knight, I move that first. Yeah, here we go. So I've got some pressure along the fifth rank here. Okay, so he goes that way. That's good. I don't want to trade pawns here now. I need to keep some pawns on so I win this endgame. Now I can bring this rook all the way over to f4 here, f5, and then I can play my knight to e5, knight to e6. So okay, I've got two pieces on that, and he's got two pieces defending. So let's think about this. I could sack a pawn here and then grab this pawn. Does that make sense to do that? Well, he could just move his king forward too. Okay, so I just need to get my king into the game now. Okay, so let's see. This is still defended. Rook takes, knight takes, king takes. You know, I'm a pawn up at the end of that. I could just play that way and win a pawn. And that might be a winning endgame. Could very well be. There's something more convincing, though. Let's see. Can I do something with the knight? Knight here, he takes it. Knight here. He pins it, and my king can't come forward. Where's the next good square for the knight? Maybe I maneuver the knight to this square to go here, here. Let's see. Knight to attack that pawn would have to be on one of these light squares. Okay, let's think about the endgame. Knight takes, rook takes, king takes. It's my turn. I go forward, and his king has to move. His pawns can't. He can't come forward, so he goes back, and I step forward. I guess that's just a winning endgame, and I should go for it. It only takes one pawn to win. But you want to be sure it's not one of those drawn ones. But when there's multiple pawns on the board, it's usually winning. Unless there's special circumstances like a good king position or something like that. Just to see if he should take en passant to give himself the best chance there. Oh yeah, this is not turning out so well. This is looking okay for white. I probably misplayed something there. I thought, well, I was starting to run short on time, but at first I thought I could push with my king and get in to attack his weak pawn over here. But then I didn't see a way to do it, so I did my backup plan of pushing the f-pawn. And he needs to take here and then run for the corner, and then he should be able to draw with the king in the corner. Let's see what he does. A very funny move. Yeah, he had a draw. I don't know what it is. Oh, he's just showing off, I guess. He can play there. And that's still a draw. It's a simpler draw if he just runs for the corner, but anyway, this is draw too. Let's see, can I duck out right here? He attacks a pawn right here. So king here, and I can't save the pawn. So I have to push forward once more. And it's a stalemate unless he wants to move away and let me win. All right, so interesting game. I won't say good game, but maybe not a bad result because he had chances there too. I should have put it away much earlier. Anyway, I'll upload this into a postmortem. See you guys later. Bye.